What's going on YouTube? It's been a while since I made a video, and today I want to talk about what it means to be AI native. Honestly, I'm so tired of hearing this word, AI native. Every time I hear about it, it's a different thing. And today I want to talk about what I think is fundamental and what is flaky that we can skip. I have two thoughts on this. The first point I want to make is for all the builders and all the individual contributors out there. I know it seems kind of stressful right now because the days of chilling out are over. In addition to all the mounting pressures, there is more expectations for managers to deliver more work out of individual contributors. And I think this happens because with AI, we're expected to be able to deliver more. And because of that expectation, you're supposed to deliver more, which sounds terrible, but as individual contributors, I think now is a good time to take a step back and evaluate what are the actual things that can be automated. For software engineers, these are typically things including answering Slack messages, reviewing PRs, or general information lookup. So these are some of the things that you want to be able to automate sooner than later, because the idea is if the expectation is that you can perform more, then you want to somehow get ahead of that expectation so that you can automate more than is expected. That way your job doesn't have to be so stressful. Additionally, I also am thinking about how I can get myself away from the keyboard, because if you can get work done, people are generally not so concerned about whether your ass is in the office. So I'm thinking about how I can trigger an agent from my phone so that I don't have to be in front of the keyboard, in front of the computer all the time. And work can be done at the same time. So that way it frees my mobility so I can go about and do other things during work hours and have my work completed at the right time. My second point is around managing people. So this point is for all the managers out there. I have noticed that most managers are really honed in on business operations. So they are very concerned with the metrics and how to measure the impact. And while that's still important, I think AI makes it more obvious to allocate the jobs to the correct type of personality. Here's what I mean by that. I've generally noticed there are two kinds of builders, individual contributors. There's the individual contributors that like to go fast and get things done very quickly. And then there are people that are a little bit slower, they're a little bit more deliberate, they like to think things through, they like to look at the architecture more. And I would say in this case, it's much more important to let the move fast people use AI to prototype and build features very, very quickly to prove out the business hypothesis and improve the operations, and let the slower and steady people think about how to measure the impact and build sustainable processes and architectures to maintain the infrastructure over time. However, I will say that in general, I have noticed AI native orgs tend to be smaller teams, because smaller teams usually encourages this agency behavior, this behavior to drive things to completion end to end. The less gatekeepers there is to information, the more AI native an org can be. In other words, you can approximate how AI native an org is just by measuring how many gatekeepers there is to information. The less gatekeeper there is, the more AI native the org is, which is why it's very difficult for larger orgs to be AI native. Yeah, I think that's unfortunate. If you do have a larger org, then you want to think about how you can have more integrations to different points and allow more information to flow through so that your org can be more AI native. Yeah, those are my unfinished thoughts on what it means to be AI native. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.